Hey guys, welcome back to another Skyblock episode. So I did the whole Endermite Elytra farming again, overdid it a little bit. I couldn't even kill all the Endermite before they would despawn. So I had 800 Ender pearls in the bubble column, should have probably done 2 batches of 400 instead. But nevertheless, I got 5 backup Elytra now. So I just need to put mending and unbreaking on it, and I can put it into the Ender chest as well, so we got some backup now. Okay, so we can put a big check mark, I think, on Elytra farming. Technically, we could make an AFK setup or whatnot, but it's like it wouldn't even be that much more effort to actually do this. And most of the time is actually already pretty much spent AFKing, throwing Ender pearls into the bubble column. The Ender pearl cooldown that also was introduced a couple versions ago. Yeah, that's really the main limiting factor here. And yeah, single player, no point really to overdo this. Right, so yeah, big check mark on Elytra. We got enough of that stuff. What I want to do this episode is to get some Deepslate. That's also a custom mechanic. I was actually pointing out again that I should always mention it if you use some custom mechanics that aren't in vanilla. So again, you can't farm Elytra with an Endermite in vanilla. You need to go to the end city, to the end ship, get it out of the item frame there. Only way in vanilla. But of course, that's not an option in my Skyblock world. We have a mod pack that fills in the gaps, so everything is available even in Skyblock with custom mechanics. Yeah, Deepslate also has a custom mechanic. Of course, in vanilla I can just mine it everywhere, but yeah, here we actually need to convert stone blocks into Deepslate. Of course, I also want to automate that process. Probably best if we head to the creative world and then can explain you how we can actually get Deepslate in the Skyblock mod. I think I've shown this actually in the introduction of episode 1 already. So in order to turn stone into Deepslate, you need to apply a potion on it. So similar to converting dirt into mud, you need water bottles. Yeah, and here you need actually a thick potion. So that's a potion that has no use at all in vanilla. So kind of nice. In the Skyblock mod, we also have a use for that. So let's see it. We got a thick potion here, and you can just right click it because the potion is used up. And this would also work with the dispenser. Trigger this, also turns the stone into Deepslate and uses up the thick potion. But there's actually an extra mechanic. We can also use a splash potion and convert more stone into Deepslate. It's also really worth it. Let's see it. There we go. A lot of stone got converted into Deepslate. I think it's actually always 64, but I found sometimes I actually got 72. It's caused by a potion landing right in between 2 blocks. So let's actually try to confirm that somehow. See if you can recreate that. Oops. There we go. This way we get 72 blocks converted or stone into Deepslate. Wonder if you can actually also take this one step further into the middle of 4 blocks. This looks even larger. This is a 9x9 now. Yeah, we get 81 blocks this way. Okay. Maybe one more thing. How do I even get the thick potion? So you need to put just normal water bottles into the brewing stand and then put glowstone dust in it. This way you can get the thick potion. Actually, I looked this up again in a wiki. Why is there a potion that has no effect at all? So apparently, when potions were first introduced into the game, Jap and Notch, they had different ideas how to do it. So they had the idea that in every world, the potions get randomized a little bit. So you need different ingredients to get different potions. The player basically has to do trial and error to see what works. But this system was scrapped. And then some of the potions, like the thick potion or the mundane potion that were used for this initial system, no longer have a use, but weren't removed from the game. Well, now we can use them for Skyblock. The other one is the mundane potion. I think you actually brew it by just putting in a water bottle, and then one of the ingredients that usually give the potion an effect once you have the awkward potion. So if I just put it like a golden carrot in there now, we would get the mundane potion that I don't think even has any use in Skyblock as well. So we need this sick potion with the glowstone dust. Alright, so we can of course also use a dispenser and feed it some yeah, splash potions. But it might get really tricky to land the potion in the middle of 4 blocks. I can maybe just try it. Put a dispenser here. See what happens if I put one in there. I also tried the lingering potion already. It's the same as a splash potion, it seems like. No difference there. Okay, let's try a normal splash potion. And just have a dispenser below. Look at this. And how many blocks is this? 64 again. Okay, so it's an 8 by 8. This is actually random where we get Deepslate or not. This is kind of interesting. Seems like it's always the same spot. Put markers there. That of course would be relevant for the farm later. Yeah, it seems like it has always the same offset to one side, so it's kinda directional as well. It's not great. But yeah, single player, we can just build a directional farm, I guess. It's always the same offset. Okay, so that's definitely interesting. Yeah, so in order to make a farm out of this, where yeah, Deepslate is pushed into the blast chamber, we basically just need a smooth stone generator, then make an 8 by 8, then trigger the dispenser, push everything into the blast chamber. So it shouldn't be too hard. Of course, we also need an automatic brewing system for this. Yeah, let's get to work. So I already made a bit of progress. I got a mock-up for the first component. So this system here basically makes sure that we always get 81 blocks. So yeah, we shoot a potion into the bubble column, and it floats back up. At the top, we align it here with the honey blocks. It just sits on the right of the water column there. Then we just use the dispensers to remove the water, then the potion just falls down. And we also grab the block here at the bottom, then the potion drops down. And as you can see, you always get 81 blocks. Now, unfortunately, the system is not reliable yet. Seems pretty stable. But I noticed that here at the top, sometimes it takes the potion a bit longer to get up again. And yeah, I'm not sure how to deal with this. So far, kind of always worked, but sometimes, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to show. So I'm not entirely sure if there's maybe some magic timing or delay where it would work 100% of the time. What I also thought about is we could maybe just shoot the other potion in and let it sit on the water until it basically comes to a rest there. But I already saw that sometimes the potion still bounces. It goes underwater, and then it might also not be pushed. It happens to be underwater at the right time, and the honey doesn't push it. Oh, this is a bit tricky. How can we make this reliable now? That's also quite interesting. Cobwebs or powder snow don't slow down the potions, so we can't use those as well. This is actually also quite promising, but it seems like it's also not reliable. So if we would try to catch the potions somehow, we tried around with a lot of timings. Fortunately, no. Still can go wrong. Sometimes it works. Honey column catches the potion, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Always this stupid randomness of dispenser dropper. I mean, it already got better now. At least the randomness is not as extreme or can be as extreme anymore, like in previous versions, but still. Ah, this looks really promising now. So what I'm actually doing now is I just shoot the potion into downwards flowing water, which still slows it down. Then I push it over. Yeah, I'm just gonna trigger this. See, I push it over. And then here it bounces on top of the bubble column, which you got at the bottom. Yeah, on top the flowing water pushes it down. That's why we can keep it pretty consistently just right here. Okay, then all I gotta do next is push it over with this honey block, and then it's perfectly aligned the corner of the block. So like this. That's still affected by the bubble column and the flowing water actually. So in order to drop it down now, I just need to trigger the dispenser. I don't even need to remove the soul sand at the bottom. Okay, and just dispense the water again, get the bubble column back, and we could do it for the next one. Okay, just gonna clean up the wiring here a little bit. Just proof of concept, but this I think is really promising. Then at the bottom, haven't even checked there, but it's perfectly aligned. We should get 81. Let's see. 81 blocks, yes, perfect. Okay, so I got a nicer setup for this. There we go. And I also noticed something. It actually converts 2 layers into Deepslate, not only 1. So we can get 162 Deepslate instead of 81. We could even get 3 layers as well. But that would actually require the potion to land a little bit lower. So if we take out that block somehow and have it land lower. There we go. 3 layers would actually get converted. That's just a question, should we try to do this somehow? Definitely want to go for 2 layers. 3, I don't know, because it might get a bit complicated. I just checked, we can actually also get 4 layers, but the setup wasn't really consistent. So if I remove 2 blocks and add 4 snow layers, so this is 0.375 blocks tall now. I drop the potion, then 4 layers get converted. But I actually also had it that only 3 layers got converted. Probably depends on where the potion lands precisely. Okay, that's quite interesting. So it's definitely still potential to make this more efficient, but I'm gonna go for 2 layers because then I don't need to remove those blocks. What I'm gonna do for the snow layers is probably some movable block. They would work somehow. Not gonna overcomplicate this, but it's interesting to know. I'm gonna go for 2 layers because then the rest of the setup is nice and clean and simple. Also, already quite efficient. So we're getting 162 blocks now per potion. And of course, per glowstone we invest and per gunpowder, we get 3 potions. So basically, almost 500 blocks per 1 gunpowder and per 1 glowstone dust. That's actually pretty good. Consider that we get like 18,000 blocks per hour, like half a stack of glowstone dust and half a stack of gunpowder per hour. That's already really efficient already. So yeah, you could put in a lot of effort to make it even more efficient, but I think 2 layers is enough. Yeah, so I'm gonna go for that. The rest of the project should be fairly straightforward. So we need a stone generator, push it in from one side. After 9 pushes, we drop the thick potion, and then we need to convert this type of structure into a block stream so we can put it into the blast chambers. So we could use this one here. Basically just a conveyor system that is 2 blocks high. Yeah, and here we got a system that converts that into the block stream. So if you have 2 blocks arriving, the first one is pushed out immediately. Then after 2 ticks, we start pushing in the second block, which arrives after in total 4 ticks, and then it's also getting pushed out. So like this. Okay, then I already worked on a brewing system as well, because of course we need a lot of thick potions for this. So I actually just took one I made, I think 2 or 3 years ago. It was made for 6 ingredients for lingering potions. And yeah, I rebuilt it slightly because I didn't need as many droppers that hold ingredients. So we only need gunpowder and glowstone dust and glass bottles so we can refill it. So technically, that's actually all items you could get from a witch farm, but of course, yeah, this is gonna last a long time. So yeah, if you have like 1,000 glass bottles in there, this lasts for almost 200,000. You have the Deepslate blocks. So I don't think we need to overcomplicate this. Just a little storage. I mean, we can always put a double chest on top, and then it's already enough for 500,000 and so on. Alright, so all the blocks have been placed. I just grabbed some blaze powder so we can also fill up the brewing stand. So let's try to get down there. Got 6 stacks of blaze powder. Yeah, it's basically enough here. Okay, then we also need to start up the brewing system. Kind of need to do this manually. Spencer in here. I think I'm just gonna grab a couple bottles. I think we need to provide like 6 or 7 or so to in the chest here. So they will be picked up by the hopper here and then transferred into the brewing stand. And then I also need to manually put in, I think, 1 of each ingredient, and then it should actually start right away. So let's see. Let's grab a gunpowder and a glowstone dust. So I just put this in here, and 1 on the top, and this would then turn on the clock, hopefully. Let's see. Oh, it puts in another one. Okay, let's grab this one. So it's a bit of waiting now, 30 seconds. Just brews the thick potion and then puts the gunpowder on it. Okay. It also automatically refills the bottle, so that's quite convenient. Just send a signal here to the dropper. Picks up water immediately here, the dispenser, and sucks it out. Out of the dispenser in the same tick. Okay. Let's see. 5 seconds left. This works. Yeah, looking good. Yeah, okay, this is working. So I put the potions here into the dispenser already, and there is a comparator that as soon as we fill up the dispenser and the hopper above, and then 1 bottle in the chest here would turn off the brewing system automatically. So basically just keeps brewing continuously. That's how the system works. Compact. Okay, then I think we can turn it on. I think at first we would produce some stone that will be pushed towards the blast chamber. And then after a while we would trigger the dispenser here. There's a counter here. So every 9th activation of the stone generator, we dispense a potion. So the stone generator, it's a simple one here. Got the water flowing in from the side. No, just pistons pushing this stuff to the side. Why am I still burning? Okay. Yeah. Lever is over here. Let's go. This does not work at all. Okay. Made a mistake somewhere. Oh boy. What did I forget even? I don't even know. This did not work at all. Okay, so I've done a lot of investigating. Turns out I didn't make a building mistake in survival. The farm had a little flaw. So the problem was a timing issue. I'm gonna slow down the tick rate by 40 times to make the game run really slow. Actually, probably even slower. So the problem was actually here with this setup. So we push in those blocks here from the side. Then this block is pushed out. And then this observer actually only has a single game tick of delay before it triggers the sticky piston. So I can show this. So we're gonna push in 2 blocks here. A bit too slow. Okay. So if you take a look at the right here, the ticks when we start pushing out the first block, it's at 3, 5, 4, 9. And then already in the next tick we push in stone block. That's just the way this works. I completely forgot about it. So we only have a 3 tick delay between pushes of the blocks. And here in the creative world it wasn't an issue. But this would actually be an issue with the next smart piston we have here on the side, pushes everything towards the blast chamber. So what we actually gotta do, we can't use the observer here directly, detecting the redstone dust. What we gotta do is actually we take this piston here, we detect that piston head, and then power the sticky piston this way. Alright? Do it like this. Can slow the game down again, and then you can see that the timings are correct. Okay, so we push in the blocks at 3907, so at 3910. First piston will push out a block. There we go. And then 2 ticks later, we start pushing in the other block. There we go. And it arrives after 2 ticks, because pushed by a sticky piston. And then at 3914, we push again. Alright, normal speed. I guess we can also try this out. Haven't even done that yet. Should fix all the problems, hopefully. Let's see. No, oh no, here. Okay, now we have new issues. The timings are not working anymore. Oh my god. Such a headache sometimes. Alright, everything is good now. Turns out I had another timing issue. Sometimes you just have to count the ticks and check that everything is working correctly. So to make it short, what happened is the timings are already super sharp. So once we push forward here, so the whole blocks there, we push this piston out and it fires basically immediately. Now this was actually triggered 1 tick too early, so the blocks were still moving while the piston tried already to push the stuff. So we basically had to wait 1 extra tick until the blocks arrive. So the first pistons were pushing late and the second pistons were on the right timing, but that's 7 ticks later, and then it didn't work with the system in the back and then it failed. Alright, but that's taken care of. We got some scaffolding timing now for the 1 tick delay. So I'm just gonna build this in survival and hopefully it should work. So back in survival now, I turned the machine on, it's working fine now, at least the block pushing part. There's another issue right now that I don't have an explanation for. As you can see, only every second block is a Deepslate block. It seems like the potion now only converts a single layer. So here it drops down, and only a single layer is being converted. It's really strange, I have no idea what's going on. It's of course not built exactly in the same location, at a different height, in a different biome. I'm not really too familiar how this feature works exactly. Maybe there's a flaw with it, but yeah, right now I don't think I can fix this. But at least it kinda works, so at least we're getting like 9000 Deepslate power. Yeah, it's really unfortunate, but it would be fine, so we would definitely get enough blocks for our chunk building project. Also makes a nice effect here. Here we actually got a splitter, so all the Deepslate goes to the right and the normal stone to the left. So the first Deepslate should have arrived at storage already. There it is. We're getting cobbled Deepslate, of course, because we blow it up. We want the normal Deepslate for the chunk build, so we need to put this stuff into a furnace array. Okay, but apart from that, I think we have like most of the materials ready now to recreate the chunk. What's mostly missing is that I can think of as diamond ore, which would require a wizard skeleton farm. Maybe we can work on this soon, but I'm also running out of rockets. I definitely need some sort of sugarcane farm. Maybe even a manual one, or just for now, yeah, something so we can keep flying. What are the plans actually for the next episodes? Yeah, wizard skeleton farm maybe, so we can get a couple diamonds. That's actually quite interesting. Fully automatic diamond farm. It's always good clickbait. And yeah, after that, I would want to start building my storage. So the new base area of storage and decoration around it. I've been talking about it, but it's always coming up in between. But yeah, after the chunk build is done, I'm gonna start with that. Maybe a couple words to the Deepslate mechanic, because right now in Vanilla we don't have renewable Deepslate. Of course, there's plenty in the normal world, so you shouldn't have any issues getting enough. Could also make a quarry. On Psycraft we have, I don't even know, I think 50 or 60 million Deepslate at this point. We had a quarry running, so there's really no issue getting enough, but it's always nice to have a renewable mechanic, I feel like. Of course, then on the other hand, you don't need the quarry anymore, but I think something like this is actually really interesting. It involves brewing, potion dropping, but I also wouldn't mind it if it would work similar to the dirt to mud conversion. So if you would only be able to convert a single block. Of course, you would need to spend a lot of materials making potions. Some potion brewing arrays to keep up with it would also be quite interesting to do this way without the splash potions. Yeah, maybe somebody has an idea of what actually happened there with the 2 layers. Maybe it's actually, what I could imagine is that it's just some rounding error. This was built now below 0. In a creative world, I built it above 0. Maybe it's something like this. Why we only got a single layer converted here. Could imagine something like this. Maybe it will be fixed at some point, or it is already. I'm actually not using the latest version. I'm still 1.19.2. Maybe for 19.4. I'm gonna update again. Alright, so yeah, that's it for today. Thanks guys for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.